Okay, are we ready?
We are.
I have 7 o'clock.
We're ready.
Okay. All right. Welcome for all of the of you that are viewing on our live stream. Welcome to the City of Mangum special meeting for October the 8th, 2020. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and could we have a roll call and please at this time?
Gay.
Here.
Webb.
Here.
Reese.
Here.
Bowman.
Here. Okay, we do have a quorum. Next on the agenda is the consent agenda. It is the minutes of the special meeting of September 3rd of 2020, the claims for September 2020, and the October 2020 estimated payroll. Do I have any items that we want to remove from the agenda?
I'd make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Okay, we have a motion to approve the consent agenda. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second. Would you please call for a vote?
Gay.
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Travis.
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
Okay, consent agenda is approved. Let's go on to the next item, reports. So we'll leave this up to you, Mr. City Manager.
Okay, so all we have is I've got my monthly financial report. I'll put that up on the screen now. Hopefully everybody can see that. So the fantastic news is our sales tax, and we're as far as I've seen and looked back into, we actually broke a record for the month of August at $58,937 for our sales tax. And that is up 25% over last year, 38% over last month. Our use tax is up as well. It's only 1% up from last month, so it's really not a big change, but it's still 40% up over last year. So when you look at that, that's what it's going to look like on the in scheme of things. It just shot up. And what we're attributing that to, and you know, this is all kind of guesswork on our part, but what makes sense, and in talking to some of my colleagues, it absolutely makes sense, is that more people are shopping here locally with Jackson County having the issues that they're having down there. So, you know, we're seeing more folks just go to our grocery store, and we're seeing more folks go to our hardware store. And this is the result of what we believe Jackson County's health crisis to be. So they're not going down to the Walmart down there and doing that. So to give you the use tax, it's, you know, it's certainly not at a high that we've seen in the past 6 months or so, but it's still pretty stable, and it's still looking really good compared to last year. So these are really good numbers. They're certainly not what I budgeted for when we approved the revenues for this year. I can tell you that we're pretty close on our revenue with the MUA where we expected to be. So if you look up on their side, and we're in good shape. We're above on our fund balance on both now. So being in the positive this early, that's, you know, hey, we're looking good. So if anybody has any questions on that, I'd be happy to answer them.
Not on that, but Dave, I got to tell you, I love the fact that there's a hyperlink and I can just click on the number and it takes me straight to the whatever we're talking about.
Yeah, it's nice.
So I'll tell you, I'll give you a little brief understanding of what that is. The city, with when we approved all of this with the budget, one of the things that we talked about back in May and June was that we needed to upgrade our website. This is a direct product of the upgraded website. The fact that we can put these agendas packets out to you, and soon that agenda packet is going to be available to the general public once we get the website online. And I wish I would have thought about it. I would have put it up there as a kind of a status report of what this new website's going to look like. And it's amazing. We're really, really proud of it. The photos are kind of, it sits well on how it's going to look. And we've got the proofs on that. And I've sent it to the mayor. She's seen it. But we're kind of, I'm wanting to kind of hold it close. I don't want to let everybody see it until we go live, because I'm super excited, and I hope you guys like it. So it's going to be some capabilities that we just haven't seen before. And it's definitely money well spent. So that's what those links, those simple little links to get you where you want to be is part of this. And Billy she loves it, because your voting is done by clicks now on her website, or on her computer. So as you vote, all she has to do is just find you and click on you, and she doesn't have to take the written notes anymore. The whole thing is recorded, so it's fantastic. So anyway,
Cool.
I can consider that to be a part of our reporting.
I did too.
Okay. Any other questions on the financial report?
What accounted for the huge percentage of income and fines? Do you know?
No, I can't tell you that. I would have to look that up and bring that back to you, unless Billy has that off the top of her head.
No, I don't. I haven't even looked at that part.
Okay.
I know more people seem to have been calling in and doing payments
paying.
online, traffic payments online. So maybe they've decided they need to get it done. I don't know.
Okay.
In that department, the police vehicle maintenance was really high at this point
Yes.
in the year.
Yes, and what we're going to have to do is later on, probably next month, is to do a budget amendment that reallocates for that. What happened is one of the cars that we had, basically the transmission was shot, and we had to send it off to. We shopped around to the various dealerships to see which one we could get a better deal on, so we ended up sending it up to Elk City, and they had to replace the transmission on it. It wasn't a transmission; it was new heads on the engine. So it cost us about $3,600 to do that. So it was an unexpected expense, but you can't budget for the unexpected when in the vehicle maintenance side. So we'll have a reallocation amendment for you next month to cover that.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, we'll move from the reports on down to the ordinance and resolutions. Item number 6, discussion and possible action to approve the budget amendment resolution 2021-09 for additional money. Could I have a motion for that item?
I'll make that motion to adopt that item.
Okay, have a second.
I'll second.
Okay, let's have a discussion, please.
This is just our budgeted funding from the Department of Agriculture and Forestry. We get this every year, so it's a little bit more than we budgeted for from what I think it's like $39, $35 or $36 or something like that, more than what we got or what I budgeted for it. So, which is actually, that's really
Okay.
It's the other way around.
good.
Oh, okay.
So.
All right. Do we have any more discussion on that? Can I call for a vote, please? Art? Anybody comments? Okay, call for a vote, please, on item number 6.
Gay,
Yes.
Webb,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Bowman.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Number 7, discussion possible action to approve resolution number 2021-10, a resolution amending the FY 2021 budget for the receipt of CARES Act reimbursement. Do I have a motion for that?
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion. We have a second.
I'll second that.
Okay, discussion on that.
Well, this is the fantastic news with, I reported that to you all last month that we were expecting that we were going to get a good size reimbursement due to the changes that the state came down, that we were basically going to find a way to get our allocation. Well, we got our entire allocation, and that is $207,000. So
Amazing.
207,900 actually. This resolution accepts that fund or those funds into the general government capital improvement fund, where they will sit until we find a reasonable use for them. And we know what that reasonable use is going to be. We just need to we have to wait until we work with the state on that. So
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Okay, could you call for a vote, please?
Dan? Gay,
Yes.
Webb,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item number 8, discussion and possible action to approve resolution number 2021-11, a resolution for the SENA grant budget amendment. Can I have a motion?
I'd make that motion.
And second.
I'll second.
Okay, discussion, please.
okay, so this is the scenic grant, and we reached out in September and wanted this approved, but they had asked for a lot more. I think it was 2,500, but SWOTA, the SWOTA board, decided with the amount of money that was allocated this year that they would reduce the payments to all of the grant recipients instead of just, giving a little bit to all is better than not, and giving a lot to one or a lot to a few. So they voted to give a little bit to all, and so we're the senior center is going to receive 1,500 of the 2,500 that they asked for.
Okay.
This accepts that funding.
Any questions? If not, call for a vote, please.
Gay,
Yes.
Webb,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
and Bowman.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Number 9, discussion and possible action to approve resolution 2021-12 to increase street and alley expenditures. Do I have a motion?
So
I'll make
moved.
the motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we, Ron has a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a second from Travis. Okay, discussion, please.
Good. So this is an allocation without revenue behind it. So we ran into an expenditure in the Pierce Street project that obviously when we're not prepared for that, we didn't expect that. This is just an allocation of fund balance. So it's basically saying, hey, instead of the original $9,620 that we budgeted for this year, we're asking us to move that up 5,000 so that we can continue to fix some other streets, because that project took a big chunk out.
So Dave, if I could ask a question here,
Yes,
that 5,000 that's the Pierce Street, because I know we had previously approved that money came out of the 9,600.
yes.
And how much is left out of that 9,600 that would flow over to 5,000.
Well, it's literally 96,020 minus the 4,999.
Okay.
So doing math in public is not my forte. But I can tell you it's
96,000.
9,654.
Math in public.
620.
So yeah,
Okay.
that's it is the 9,000 minus the 4,000. Or so or for
So
the
roughly about 10,000 is what we have, about 9,600.
after once we put this 5,000 back in, we're going to be sitting back at 9,600.
Okay.
So that the street department has their normal allocation to get the asphalt and any concrete work that they need to do. But I can tell you the work that was done by the contractor was amazing. He did a fantastic job. We have a lot more work that needs to be done, and these are concrete projects that we haven't been able to get to because we don't really have a concrete team. So what we're going to be doing is looking at how we can allocate some more funds into getting some of these projects, these concrete projects done. One of those is on North Pennsylvania, just north of, I want to say it's north of, is it Harris or Adams?
You're talking about where the right before the big dip.
Yeah, right before that big dip, there's two spots there that are just giant empty chunks that are it's all gravel. Well, we did that over 2 years ago. That was done before I even came to the city. But we don't have a concrete crew, nor have we had any success with getting with any of our local concrete contractors. So we now have a local contractor. I mean, he's not local, but he is out of Lone Wolf, and he does an amazing job. And I think the Pierce project is a testament to what he can do for us. So we'll have more on that coming up in the future.
Any more comments? Please call for a vote.
Gay,
Yes.
Webb,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. The next thing on the agenda is item number 10 under new business, discussion and possible action to accept the recommendation of OMAG that the claim from Michael Rivera is be denied. Do we have a motion?
So move.
Second?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Would you like to have some discussion, please, here?
Can I ask a question before we discuss real quick?
Sure.
Is there a reason that we don't get like the backstory on these in our packets?
You want the full report when we do it? We can. Absolutely.
Well, I'm just saying maybe even just a quick snippet of what's happened, because they really don't cite anything in when you read the report here.
Yeah.
I don't know anything going on. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I agree with you, and that's on me. I didn't even think to add all of that, but there are the details in the tort claim form that they fill out. The problem is that the city has no. We don't do our own torts. We outsource those to OMAG as part of their risk management package, and they are the ones that do the claims adjustment, and they're the ones that find whether or not we are liable for the tort itself. So whenever these come up, I really don't have a whole lot more to add to the, I can give you the background of what it was. And in this case, Mr. Rivera had a tree in a power line that had caused a short that went into his house, and it did some electrical damage to some of his property. And I wasn't involved with the this case because we don't get involved with these cases. We send them off to OMAG. Typically, what we do is we will, whoever worked the case will file a statement of what happened, and that statement goes to OMAG, and OMAG reads that statement. They talk to those who are involved, and in this case, I think Gordon Lehman was involved with this, and he had a statement that went up with it. The only thing I would say is we contract with OMAG for a reason, and I would say what OMAG, unless there's any kind of exigent circumstances, the recommendation from OMAG should be met as a recommendation from the office.
Right. And Dave, just the only reason I was saying is we get this report. For me, I like a little backstory.
And I will do that in the future. I promise. I totally understand. It makes sense to give you guys a little backstory and what.
Dave, I think you told us about this earlier. It was just like in mentioning and stuff, but then whenever it comes up to actually this type of thing, you might just like refresh our memories.
Yep. So that's what this was. It was a power line that had.
I remember that.
And it shorted out, the guy's house. And, so they evidently, in what I've read on their review, is that we would have been liable if we had known that there was an issue, and they never let us know that there was an issue. So there's no liability on the city, according to OMAG.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? If not, let's call for a vote, please.
Gay,
Yes.
Webb,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Bowman,
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Let's go on to item number 7, discussion and possible action to approve between the city of Mangum and Axon Enterprise Incorporated for the purchase of training for a 5-year supported package for the Taser 7 system, cost not to exceed $20,880 and shall be paid over 5 years. Year 1, $39.42, year 2, 3, 4, and 5, $4,730, total $20,863.60. Municipal defunding clause is covered in the purchase agreement.
Mouthful.
Do I have a motion?
One question before we do.
Okay.
Did I read in here that this had to be done by the 30th of September?
No. They wanted it to, but if you look at the bid specs on, is that bid spec in here? I messed that up.
There's many, many pages of stuff. But
Yes.
I know I read
Yeah.
that.
Uh,
Didn't know it's effective or not.
the tasers look pretty cool though.
They do.
Let me get to it. I just moved my mouse and it shot me to the beginning. So
Me too.
there we go. I knew I had it in here.
Well, there's many, many pages, so I can't recall where I saw it, and it may have just had something to do with if it's not done by the 30th of September, so-and-so won't be effective.
No, and what I made sure of is that on the agreement, it says the quote is good for the 15th of October. So we are covered up to that point for all of this agreement. And it's on page. It's on page, if you're looking at it electronically, it'll be on page 198. Expiration is the 10/15/2020.
And this is for 6 tasers. Am I
Yes.
reading that correctly?
Yes, that's correct. That's one for each officer. Correct. Right now we have 4, but only 1 works. and it's this. What they're going to do is they're going to take all of ours back, and they're going to give us these. And along with this, and I'll kind of give you a little bit of what we're getting. Not just tasers. We're getting an entire training system with this. And part of it is there's a virtual reality training set with this, which is actually an Oculus headset that brings you through scenarios. They've created these virtual reality scenarios where it's a shoot or don't shoot kind of scenario that walks you through what your options are. And for every action you take, it will mine your action and train you to what your response is. So that's part of it. It also has a training suit that you can wear as a. I'm looking forward to it. The cops are going to get to shoot me. It's a suit. It's a big Velcro suit, and the training tasers actually have a Velcro. It's a Velcro tag that shoots out, and it gives them an exacting representation of how that taser is going to act when you shoot it for target practice, basically. And you can do this with a halt suit. You do more live training, and you can actually train it on somebody who's running at you, or who's moving in any way, shape, or form. Instead, you normally just shoot it at a piece of paper or a dummy, and there's no real training in that. We're getting all of that for free in this
That I finally found where it was, and it says the current incentives in this proposal are designed for an agreement signed before September 30th, 2020.
Right.
And that's free halt suit, CEW instructor course voucher, trade-in credit for the other 4 tasers.
And I think that was it was a typo on their end. And if you go down to the actual quote from Axon Enterprises, and it's got yellow and black on it,
Right.
you'll see it's on 198. Quote expiration for all of this, and the training suit is included in all of that, is 10/15. And I have confirmed that with the vendor myself.
So Dave, was this money budgeted already in for this specific purpose?
Yes, it was part of their. We knew that we were going to need this year, so we actually budgeted in a little bit of extra money into the fund for them to replace their tasers.
And what
normally we would just buy the tasers, and they don't do that anymore. This is more of a, we are going to get anytime they deploy a taser, we send that back to them and we get a new one for free. So we don't have to buy the cartridges anymore. We get 8. I think it's. Let me make sure I'm saying it right. We're getting 12 standoff and 12 close quarter training cartridges a year. So they'll be able to train, or I want to say that was not every year. That was every 6 months. I'll have to look at that.
So I don't remember the line item on the budget, but we budgeted for this amount of money for tasers.
We did not budget for this amount. We had budgeted. I want to say I threw in an extra $4,000 or $5,000 to the materials and supplies for this. so that they could get these tasers, because they've been asking for them for 2 years now.
So what does that reduce that budget down to once we purchase these? Is it going to take them completely line item zeros, or going to?
No. And in fact, when we combined the police department with code enforcement and animal control, we upped that budget by several thousand in order to maintain the amount we needed. We weren't sure exactly what that was going to do, so we over budgeted for it, for that line item. So we've got it.
Do you know what?
We've got the 4,000 in order to do this, and this is what we were kind of expecting. What I wasn't expecting, I didn't know at that time, was that this was actually going to be a 5-year deal, and the 5-year deal comes with a great training program and a fantastic training hardware that these guys are going to be able to get a little bit more use and realistic training with.
And it's only the first payment's $3,600 and then $4,320 after that for 5 years.
Right, and we will be able to use this to budget for next year, and then the next year, and then the next year. So we'll know that. And there's also a defunding clause in here. So if we decide, hey, this isn't working, this isn't what we expected, something's not right here, we just defund it next year. And if we defund it, and I confirmed that with Corey, that with that defunding clause, we can get out of this agreement. It's not a 5-year total agreement. If we do, we have to send everything back.
And just for my knowledge, what does a normal taser cost without like this agreement? What would we pay for one taser?
About $800.
And what are the cartridges normally?
Ooh, you would ask that. I don't know.
Do we deploy a lot of them? I mean, do we utilize it a lot?
4 or 5 a year. So
Really, that's more than I thought.
Yeah, you'd be surprised.
Really, I'm surprised, because I would only think maybe one a year, and that would be by accident.
Uh-huh.
Well, I can tell you, I know they've used 3 on one guy before.
The city manager's getting one, the mayor's getting one, so there's 2. So.
Use it on you, Travis.
This is a really good deal. Holsters are included. Everything that we need is all included in this package. So I hope that you guys will approve it, because this is exactly what these guys need. And so.
Okay, any more discussion, comments, questions?
I'll make the motion. Enter into the
Okay.
agreement.
We have a motion, and we've got a second. Can we call for a vote, please?
Second, I'm sorry. Sorry, I didn't hear who the second was.
Did we already make the motion in the second, Billy?
No,
No.
We didn't? Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Ron, did you make the motion?
yes,
I'll make the second.
And Shelley made the second? Okay, can we call for a vote, please?
Gay,
yes.
Webb,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
and Bowman.
Yes.
Okay. Item number 12 on new business is the report from REDW CPAs on the Mangum Regional Medical Center's financial statements and independent auditor's report for December 31st, 2017.
This is
Well,
me, mute button.
I'm sorry.
What?
This is me hitting the mute button and handing it over to Corey, because
Okay.
Can I ask just a quick question for Corey? Start. Why are we 3 years?
Oh, because
Really?
Alliance.
Alliance, that's when they canceled out, left.
It has taken them this long to get the answers.
Okay.
Okay.
What happened was REDW was engaged. I don't want to get too much into it because it's a very long story, and I spent 2 hours.
Unfortunately, some things we're not going to be able to talk about because we don't have an executive session on this.
Yeah, but in short, the short story is REDW was engaged in 2018. They just didn't get paid until 2020 to finish the audit. So this is a 6-month audit. It was already presented to the hospital board, and in accordance with the statute, y'all would just have to. The hospital board has to file it with y'all, and that's what y'all just have to do today. Is that this is for your information for y'all to approve, so that we can meet the statutory requirements.
But it says it's just a report. It doesn't ask for any action.
Yeah, I mean, there's really no action that needs to be taken. It's just mainly for y'all's information and things of that nature, and it's just to be filed with y'all is what the statute requires, and so that's all we have to do.
So you're just letting us know that that's happened.
Yep.
And this is the status as of the end of the year 2017. It's not
Yes.
current status.
Yeah, 18 and 19 are all already both being worked on, and hopefully those will be done soon.
Okay. Any other comments, questions on item number 12? If not, we're going to move on to item number 13, which is discussion and possible action on the city manager's policy on trick or treat during the COVID-19 pandemic.
The city manager's policy,
City of Mangum.
city of Mangum's policy.
Oh yeah, city of Mangum, I said city manager, didn't I?
So
City of Mangum's policy.
Hey,
Okay, go ahead.
Dave, here's my question. If we don't have anything in place right now, as far as mask or anything like that, then why do we have any authority over
Well,
Halloween?
I'll give you an example of this, and the reason that people ask is because the city usually sets the tone for Halloween, no matter what, if you're in a pandemic or not. The folks are gonna ask the city, hey, what day of the week are we gonna be doing Halloween this year? If it runs on a Thursday, are we gonna do it on Friday? Or if it runs on a Monday, do we do it on Sunday or whatever? And the city, for some reason, is the one that kind of sets the tone for that. We certainly don't. We have no real authority to say, hey, you guys can't do this. And I don't want to be that person who says, hey, you guys can't do this. We are still under the 10-person rule. So you're not supposed to be meeting in a group with more than 10 people. That is still in effect. Obviously we can't. It's insanely hard to enforce that. We can't enforce it on state ground. So we don't enforce it on the schools because that's the school's choice and it's the school's property. But those are the only things that we're in right now. That we are getting a lot of questions asking, hey, are we even going to do Halloween this year with COVID going on? I did not feel comfortable, and typically I would feel just fine saying, well, hey, I don't see as we need to change Halloween for any reason. This year is different. I don't want to be the one that says yes or no because of the situation that we're in with this pandemic. I certainly understand folks want to, they want to enjoy it. They want to, you need something to enjoy. You need something to make you happy. And Halloween is a great and fun way to do it. My recommendation, if anything, is that the city put out a stern policy that, or a policy statement that just says, hey, we're not asking you not to do it, but we are asking you to be safe. We're asking you to, maintain some social distancing to the best extent possible. Wear masks. Do what we have all been told to do to keep from getting this virus. And I think that's really all we can do. But I also wanted to put that to you guys and say, is there anything that you want me to do specifically to answer that question?
So I'm just going to give my opinion, and it's my opinion, but number one, that can't be enforced. I mean, you can enforce social distancing now. They can't be enforced. So why pass something that can't be enforced? But number two, we don't have a mask rule right now in Mangum. And why should Halloween be special than any other time? I mean, I'll give my point. I think there should be an ordinance that we are required to wear a mask as long as we're out in public. That's my opinion. But if we don't have that for a normal day, I don't think Halloween's any different.
Well, it's Halloween. You're supposed to wear a mask.
Well, I meant for the purpose of,
That's true.
I wish I
Yeah.
had my old gas mask. I'd wear it. Hey, I'd be covered.
I agree with you, Ron, but I don't think it hurts to, just put out a statement like Dave said that, because there's going to be more people out on the streets and walking, and you could cross paths,
but how are you going to enforce it?
you take safety precautions, but it's just a recommendation to make safety precautions. It's not a, kind of like we have at the football fields. We strongly recommend social distancing and masks. But again, people come in and they sit down next to each other and they don't have a mask on.
I don't know, enforcing I think if we're going to put something out, it needs to be enforceable. I mean, that's just my theory on things. Why, do whatever, but that's my thought.
Why don't you? He's not saying enforcing, right?
No,
You're just saying.
No, there's no way you can enforce it.
Everyone,
And honestly, a mask wear policy is unenforceable anyway. And I am all for having a mask wear policy. I wear a mask every day. I wear it everywhere I go. I think we should all be wearing masks. That's not my decision. It is insanely difficult to enforce it. I think, and when you have that, you're going to even be more polarized on the issue. I will say that I have, in my driving around town, it's kind of almost a 50-50. When I see folks going into the grocery store, they're wearing masks. 90% of them anyway. And
I was the only one last night.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
I drive by. I haven't been in there lately, but when I drive by, I kind of take a look and see, hey, are they wearing masks when they're coming in and out of there? And yeah, there is and there isn't. Those who understand and know what this thing is, and we all have to take it upon ourselves, and we need to wear masks. We should, but we need to do that for ourselves, and we need to do that for our families, and I do it because I care not only about me and my family, I care about you and your family as well. So I wear a mask.
Well, my mask protects you. You're not wearing a mask doesn't protect me.
Yeah.
But I mean, my thought is, Dave, that can be something that the city manager can just, if you want to just give out something, I don't necessarily think it needs to come from us. I think the city manager can say, use caution. We encourage mask.
And Corey, you can kind of come in, chime in on this.
Yeah.
We're not the only one that's dealing with this exact same question.
And I don't mind it coming from me. I mean, it can come from me as the mayor, if it doesn't need to come from the city manager, either one, because I wear a mask too, like you guys, everywhere I go. And so if we just need to go back into and stress the recommendations, maybe that's what we need to do.
And then I'll just add that, Dave actually called me about this. I was borderline frustrated when he made the phone call, because this is my third city council meeting that I've attended this month that the citizenry wanted us to or the governing board to specifically address Halloween. And so I just happened to be the third one. So it's, I want to say this is not just a Dave Mangum issue. This happened in all the other towns that I'm representing where this same exact question was going to be asked as to whether we were going to do anything special or specific. And really what the other towns are doing is just what we're doing is we're not going to regulate. We're not going to cancel Halloween. We just ask people to use common sense.
And I think that would come great from the mayor.
So that means everybody has to have common sense.
No, I bet the message would come great from the mayor.
That's
With
a-
And I don't mind. I honestly don't.
Proclamation
in
there.
the paper with you wearing your mask, maybe a
Ah,
Halloween mask with
good
some
idea.
pumpkins.
There you go. I don't mind doing that. Maybe they'll get me a like they said with Joe Biden, like one that covers my whole head.
I want to see the plague doctor mask. That's what I want to see, the plague doctor with the nose.
Well, I've got a giant Godzilla suit that is all nice and sealed up, so it's every bit as good as a mask anybody could
I
wear.
love you guys too. Ha! But I don't mind being the blunt. I do not. I'm really good at putting stuff on my shoulders.
All right. I will get with you tomorrow on that then.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be leaving early, but I'll
Okay.
tomorrow early next week.
Sounds good.
Okay. Okay. I guess that's me, huh? Okay. That is it on item number 13. Is there any new business, anything else that I don't think there is? There's nothing down there. Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
So I have
A
a motion to
second.
adjourn. I have a second. Okay. Who seconded it?
Ron.
I did.
Okay. All right. Call for a vote, please.
Gay,
Yes.
Webb,
Yes.
Reese,
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
Okay. Meeting is adjourned. Now, we need a few minutes, Billy, for you
2
to,
minutes for me to do this, yes.
why don't you tell us when you're ready?
Okay,
She's got to get ready on the computer for the next Mangum Utility Authority meeting, so it'll take just a little bit for her, and she'll let us know when she's ready.
So Dave, you should have music playing.
Okay,
Yeah.
would you please sing, Ronnie?
Yeah, right.
Don't do it.
Working on it.
MUA.
Oh, no.
Not that.
Not that. I hate that.
Sounds like a game show.
You're killing me.
Oh, my
Oh
Lord.
my gosh.
Oh, well, there you go. No pressure, Billy.
that's good because it's not working like I thought it should.
Oh, no.
We'll be patient.
Alex.
Like it's not showing me a right screen here.
We're going to spend more time on getting to this than we are on the actual meeting itself.
Exactly. Yeah.
Consent agenda and adjournment. Billy, is there a way that we can just write it down and,
I've got it. I'm just saving it to my computer now.
oh, okay, good. Somebody has a fan on.
Dave, were the hangars all full at the airport?
Yes, they are. We have one that does not have an airplane, but he is using it for storage.
What do we rent them for?
Um, I don't have that right on me. I think it's, Billy, it's 60 a month or a year, right? 60 a
Yeah.
month?
Yes. Okay, I'm on my roll call anytime you're ready.
Okay, at this time then, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Would you please do a roll call for the Mangum Utility Authority meeting on October 8th, 2020? Go
Reed.
ahead.
Hey,
Reed.
Reese. Here.
Webb,
Here.
Scott,
Here.
Gay,
Here.
Bowman.
Here.
Okay, next on the agenda is the consent agenda, which is to approve the minutes of the special meeting of September 3rd of 2020 and the September 2020 claims and the October 2020 estimated payroll. Do I have a motion to, is there anything you would like to remove from the consent agenda? If not, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So move.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay, any questions, discussion or anything on any of the items? If not, call for a vote, please.
Reed,
Yes.
Webb,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Gay,
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
Okay, doesn't look like there's anything else on the agenda.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have a second from Travis? Please call for a vote.
Okay, Webb,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Gay,
Yes.
Bowman.
Yes.
Okay, at this point, the meeting is adjourned, and the only thing I'd like to mention is that next month, Dave kind of explained to us we'll have to be in person.
Back in person. We're going to have to I'll call you offline. The scheduled date is actually our voting. It's an election day. Yeah. So do we want to maintain that date or do we want to move it? And we can't discuss that here, but it's something that you have to talk about very soon.
I didn't even realize that. Yeah.
I didn't buy until we looked at it today. So
Okay.
something we're going to have to decide whether we want to do that. And the reason for all of you out in YouTube land, it's if we are doing our normal meeting in person at 6 o'clock, voting ends at 7. That would interfere with ability to vote, and we cannot do that. So
Yeah. Because Okay.
So
Okay. All right, guys, we'll be back in touch with you and we'll be letting you know what's going on in that aspect. And any other questions or comments before we close? Otherwise, we are done for tonight. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending, and thank you very much for Dave for your information. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay, we're
Thanks,
good.
everyone.
You
Thank
guys
you.
have a great evening.
Good night.
Good night.